You've been sleeping here, so how does it feel to sleep with ghosts?
DaniElle DeLaite, HeyUGuys.
Is your last name DeLaite?
DeLaite, like running late. Yeah, something delayed, yeah.
Amazing. Wow.
That's nice.
Wow.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah. So it was so refreshing, so exciting this year to see an original movie that screenplay wasn't an adaptation from a novel.
Right.
So where did the idea come from, and why was there so much secrecy surrounding the script?
Bad Times at the El Royale was very much my love letter to the crime thriller. I've always wanted to sort of play around in that genre. And when I sat down, I sort of follow a very simple adage, just write what you want to see. And for me, I love when films surprise you, when they take you to places you do not expect, and when you can feel the thrill in the audience course through the room. And so, as a result, it's very important that I keep secrecy, because these days, it's very hard to surprise audiences. Audiences are very smart. It's very hard to keep secrets, so you have to be very vigilant. We had a lot of locked rooms. Yeah, we didn't send the script out. The actors had to come to us and read everything sort of under wraps.
Guys, your scenes were so riveting. It was so honest, and you complemented each other so well. How did you achieve this sincerity?
Probably getting to know each other a bit off screen and bringing that up to the, to the screen.
Yeah, I think we took some time with each other, spent some time with each other, got to know each other really well, and then brought that, I think doing that brings a sense of relaxation for each other. So we're not worried about whether or not we have to like create something that isn't there. We sort of had our rapport, and then we did our scenes.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things about acting, as a matter of fact, is it gives you, it's like kind of a reason to get tight quick.
Yeah.
Because you got some work to do, and that'll serve the work if you get to
know each other,
relax around each other.
Yeah.
So guys, I loved your characterizations of your characters. Lewis, your facial expressions, even just your eyes were amazing. And Jon, your accent, swag, and use of language, for example, accoutrement.
Yeah.
Was this what drew you to your roles?
Everything drew me to the role, the whole package. Drew is a wildly talented guy, and he wrote an incredibly original, interesting, fascinating, suspenseful script full of these insane characters, and it's no one knows what it is, so everybody's coming to it brand new, and it's therefore has the ability to truly shock and surprise. That's great.
And what about you, Lewis?
Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of script you get, and you're like, there's no way this has funding yet. They can't, because as you said, this isn't a sequel to anything, this isn't a franchise or anything, and it's too good. It's like, it feels so old school, and so I was reading the script, and I just kind of was aghast the whole time, because it's as lively and surprising on the page as it is, as we hope it is on screen,
In this movie, the characters are so multi-layered and unique. What was running through your minds when you first read the script?
Well, I was hoping that I could pull off a character like this, but I was super excited to have the opportunity to play such a, like you said, multi-layered role, and try to dig deeper into that. And I was also excited to collaborate with Drew, because I was just so interested how he came up with all of this, and every character meant so much to him, and he was just so fun to work with, and I learned a lot from him.
And speaking of twists and turns, I loved the unpredictable twists and turns in the plot. It kind of reminded me of like an Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express meets Quentin Tarantino's Hateful Eight.
I'll take it. By the way, that sounds great. Yeah, no, look, Agatha Christie, huge influence on this film, for sure. This movie is very much sort of inspired by fiction writers such as Agatha and Jim Thompson, Flannery O'Connor, James Ellroy, and I sort of wanted to play around in that sandbox.
Cynthia, when you sing This Old Heart of Mine with just your voice and the metronome, it creates this beautiful, eerie quality that is so appropriate, and your singing really adds another dimension to the film.
Thank you.
What does music mean to Darlene?
Oh, everything. That's her sunshine. That's the thing that she loves the most. I think it's the thing that keeps her going. you know, with that, through everything that she's been through, it's the one constant. It never forsakes her. She can get to it when she needs to. She can find it when she needs to. She puts up a metronome and starts singing, and it's there. It's her go-to. I think, just like me, it means a lot. Yeah.
Now, next question is a little bit of a challenge because we don't want to give the plot away, but can you describe your relationship as sisters?
It's very intense. They have a really intense bond. I think, you know, it's pretty obvious that they've had a very tumultuous upbringing, and that Cailee's character, Rose, has gotten involved in something that Emily doesn't like. And Emily is a very angry and very hardened woman, and she has a mission, and she will remove anyone in her way in order to save her little sister, who ultimately she just loves more than anything. So really, it's all just a love story.
And with most of the movie taking place in one venue, it had a bit of a play element to it. How did you make use of theatrical elements in this?
One of the other things that that was the inspiration for the movie is I just wanted to get my favorite actors on the planet and put them in a room and just let them go. And so when you look at the movie, the first act of the movie is basically just one scene, and the last act of the movie is basically one scene. And it's because I wanted to let these actors be themselves and put Jeff Bridges and Cynthia Erivo and Dakota Johnson and Chris Hemsworth in a room and let them just start firing at each other. And it was really special to see that happen.
And Jeff, you said when you read the script that it popped. What made this role and the script stand out so much for you?
Well, because it's going in different places where you don't think it's going to go, you know, and the rhythm of it is quite unusual, you know, where you have long scenes where traditionally with the movies going, it would be faster cuts, but no, this is like quite. It's an interesting combination of sort of being leisurely, because you feel like it's taking time, and so much is packed into the time. It's really, you know, Drew did a wonderful job of getting all that stuff in one package.
And what was your on-set experience like? Would you say that the El Royale was almost like a character in itself?
Absolutely.
For sure. It's the thing that kind of sets up the whole spiel, you know?
The whole spiel.
The whole spiel.
As they say.
In the movie, there's an element of voyeurism to it. And do you find it ironic that we in the audience are voyeurs watching the movie, watching voyeurs watch others?
It was certainly on my mind. The screen that people are looking through in the window in the hotel very much reflects the movie screen. And as we were sort of making the film, we realized that the whole thing becomes sort of a metaphor for the cinematic experience.
And the movie is so artistic, and it has the theme of nothing is what it seems to be, and people aren't who they seem to be either. So, you know, the El Royale straddles two states as well, so we have that duality. How far does this duality and duplicity extend?
It's a massive theme of the movie. I would say a representation of it is in every frame of the film. You obviously have kind of two sides of a mirror. You have two sides of the hotel. You have two sides of people, and you have, you know, all of that plays off of itself in the film, and all it does is serve to like ratchet up the tension and the suspense.
You're both amazing musicians, and this movie features a lot of Motown music. So, what's your favorite Motown song?
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yes, we were. I always say Marvin Gaye had it through Grapevine. That's one of my favorites.
And I've been saying, you know, your papa was bold and
Yeah,
stone.
you like that one. I
Well,
remember
something
you said
about
that.
man. I think something about that.
You like? I think it's the beat.
Oh, don't you
It's like
think, man? Yeah, something about that.
Yeah, yeah.
And that bass, that long intro. It
Yeah.
goes on for about 5 minutes. So when's the thing going to start? Oh, I just did that. Well,
Just and then it comes in.
yeah. Oh,
That's
the Funk Brothers.
But yes.
You'll see it. You'll
Yes.
see it.
Yes.
Bernadette's pretty hot. That's a hot number.
Yeah.
That's a good
He
answer.
sings the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Jesus, like sweat coming out of the speaker.
Right. Yeah.
That was my favorite thing about Motown guys. Like they got sweaty.
Right. Yeah.
You know, James Brown is like just pouring sweat. Somehow his hair is perfect, but he's absolutely pouring sweat.
Yeah.
Al Green, every one of them, man. They were not giving you 92%.
Holding back at all.
Yeah, amazing era.
Yeah.
Yes.
My favorite Motown song's got to be something. Oh, there's so many to choose. It's got to be something by the Four Tops because they're pretty spectacular.
What are some of the benefits of working with a director like Drew Goddard, who is also the writer?
Ah,
Well, he knows the story inside out.
Yeah.
And I think the special thing about Drew is that not only does he know the story inside out, but he's also really open to taking in the ideas that we have. And so that is the benefit of working with someone like him, particularly, because he's not so tied to the story that he can't, open up to new ideas and new ways of making things work.
Yeah, you get the feeling that he's so secure.
Yeah,
that
he knows the story won't
Yeah,
go
he wants,
missing.
come on, give me some help, let's make it better, let's polish this thing.
Yeah.
And can you quickly talk about the scene with Jon, how he's walking down the corridor, looking into the hotel rooms through the two-way mirror? How difficult was it to execute this scene?
The movie at its core is about what it is to be a voyeur and what it is to observe people when they don't feel like they're being observed. And I wanted the audience to feel what that felt like. And so in order to do that, we had to do one long 5-minute uninterrupted shot so you could feel what it feels like from Jon's point of view. It turned out to be a logistical nightmare because we also had live singing. Cynthia Erivo plays Darlene Sweet, who is a lounge singer, and I wanted her to sing for the entirety of the shot, which meant that we had to do everything. We had to do everything silent, right? And so the shot took 8 months to figure out. And it's we treated it like a ballet. We choreographed every move, every step. Jon treated it like a dance number. He knew exactly where to stand, where to be, so that we would never see the camera. And it was really satisfying when it all came together.
For me, it wasn't that hard. I had to walk and stand on little tiny marks on the ground and make people believe that I was thinking something. For the camera crew, it was significantly more difficult because not only are you dealing with trying to get, you're basically moving through frames, right? So there's these frames and people are doing certain things in the frames. You have to line them up the right way. You got to make sure you're not being blocked, and you also have to make sure, because you're looking at a reflective surface, that you're not seeing the camera. So there's so much that goes on in that shot, and it took us a whole couple days to rehearse it, and took them forever to set it up. And then it took us a whole day to shoot it. But there's so much that goes on because you get so much information that's revealed, including the fact that there is this second layer to the hotel. And then there's things that the camera sees, but the characters don't. So that's another interesting part of it too. There's a point at which I think I see what I think is a kidnapping in progress, but I realize it's not. The audience realizes it might not be, because there's a moment where I've already left, but the camera lingers on that particular scene, and we see another piece of information that's added to that. So it's wildly inventive, and it's a hallmark of Drew's creativity.
The movie is safe to say that, everyone has a bad time at the El Royale. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to hotels, what has been your most surprising or weirdest experience at a hotel?
I've been pretty lucky. I don't have a lot of bad experiences about hotels because I love hotels. There's something about them that I find so sort of romantic. You get to be somebody else for a night. I find that very special.
I've had people walk in my room.
Oh, interesting.
Somehow their card works or something, and I'd be like on the computer, someone would be like, hello, that happened once or twice, and they were like, the card worked. Like, I'm sorry. I was like, it's fine, dude. Like, you're not gonna murder me. Like, just go into your room.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had pretty good experiences at hotels, because whenever I've needed to go to a hotel, it's for a reason. I think it's just sometimes very odd to be away from home that often. So sometimes you get to a place, it doesn't matter how wonderful it is, you're still like, I really want to be in my own bed today. And that's kind of it for me. Yeah.
I've been in haunted hotels.
Have you felt the haunting of a hotel?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, I've woken up and seen
No.
someone standing next to my bed.
Oh.
And then,
Was it
obviously
shadowy?
been so scared. Shadowy, yeah. But then no one's there. And in the same room, my best friend was sleeping in the bed next to me, and she saw the same man laying in the bed with her. And it wasn't a real man.
I don't think I can top that. No, I don't think
In my younger years, I remember having some wild parties in my hotel room. And that's, that's tough when you're wanting to get to bed and everybody's a little happier than wild than you.
Can't get them out of
Get
there.
out of here, And then I remember falling asleep. All right, they're all gone. Falling asleep with my hand like that. And then
Waiting
fall
for everyone
and
to
boom,
go.
crash in my face on the coffee table. God. The younger years.
And I've also once found a hidden camera in my room.
Okay, that's spooky. That's just scary. Yeah.
My when I was a kid, we got a call that my brother was down in the lobby and he had sleptwalked down into the lobby.
Oh.
He was a big sleepwalker. We actually all were, which is a weird thing to have run in the family. But I'm proud of it. And that was always just creepy. Sleepwalking is just creepy in general, but it'd be really creepy to combine that with walking.
Yeah, walking into somebody's room and sleep.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, you were in a motel once and you heard somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, so I traveled back and forth from Missouri to LA a lot. We would drive from Missouri to LA, which was a 25-hour drive, so we were always crashing either in the car or like cheapest.
Sleeping, not crashing in a car. Can't say always crashing when you were driving.
When you sleep, you also call it like I crashed.
Yeah, but
that
when
doesn't
you're
sound
driving in a
right.
car,
It
you
doesn't
also
sound right.
crash.
Yeah, I would sleep in the car, and then sometimes I would stay in like $40 motel rooms, and which was you didn't know what you were going to find when you were there. One time, my mom and I were walking out to get our luggage. We'd just gotten to the room, and then there was this guy who was standing right outside in another room, and he was in some sort of gang on the phone, saying that he was going to find this guy, and that he said, I distinctly remember him saying, I can't pee anymore, and that you beat me up so bad. I think he like hit him in the wrong spot, and now he like can't pee. So it was, we didn't end up getting our luggage. We just stayed in the room, but it was pretty sketchy.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey